Okay guys, I am back. This is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing. As I mentioned in the previous video, I'm going to be making what they call a snippet roll, and I'm not very familiar with the language. It's all new territory for me, but it's basically a strip, so strip of fabric or lace or whatever you want to use, and you basically make clusters on it like the ones I showed you in the other video. But in case you didn't watch that, let me just grab one really quick so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is a cluster, and this is basically what I'll be doing on top of the lace. But the idea of putting it on the lace is you can then cut the lace apart and you have these little bits that are all consolidated. The other thing I'm going to try to do different is I'm thinking about sewing it. I'm not sure. For now, I'm going to pin everything because I'm not sure if I want to sew it or not. Never done that before. I don't think I could do it on my sewing machine. I might not. In fact, chances are I probably won't. Maybe what I'll do is I'll get I have a sewing stitch stamp, and I might do that instead, just because this is again my first time and I don't want to belabor it, and I really don't want to do that on camera. So I may just get my stamp out and do it that way. So we'll see how this goes. So I have a variety of lace, some dyed cheesecloth, rice paper, some bits of ephemera, some music pages, book pages, coffee dyed pages, again fabric, and a bunch of little snippets, little tags and things like that. So I've got my ink ready. This is Vintage Photo archival ink. I like the archival because it is waterproof. And even though right now we're dealing with dry media in terms of paper crafting, I am used to wet craft. I do a lot of mixed media and watercolor, and so I don't like the surprise of ink getting wet and bleeding. So I went ahead and purchased this for my mixed media, and they don't actually sell the Vintage Photo in a pad anymore, so I had to buy the DIY ink pad. It was an empty ink pad, and then I bought the re-inker with the Vintage Photo archival ink, and so that's what I use. So I've got that in my sponge. So let's get going. I need to move some of this stuff out of the way, so I'm going to move all these bits over here so that we can see, and then I'm going to adjust the camera. Hopefully. Hope that's better. I will watch carefully to make sure I stay in screen. So let's get these papers off of here. And I picked a variety of papers because, and I'm not going to use all these by all means. I just wanted to get everything organized. I tend to be a little I'm not disorganized. You see my studio. It's completely always in order. But when I'm creating, it's easier for me to have a lot of the possibilities of what I want to use right here already designated for that thought process, and then I can just grab it. So when I get a little more familiar, I do better, but this is new. So again, just setting all this aside so that we can get going on this. So I've got a bunch of little butterflies, cutesy stuff. I found these in my stash. I've had them forever and a day. They're made out of fabric, kind of, and then they have this little jewel in the front. So I've got a few of those if we want to use them. So we're going to start with one end of this lace. I hope that that's okay to see being on the black mat here, glass mat. So I don't want to cover this one up. I might not use that one. I'm already saying I won't use because, oh my gosh, I need the bigger pieces on the bottom. So let me grab some of the bigger chunks here. I am going to go ahead and glue this, guys. Oh, let me grab that stamp I was talking about before we get too into this. It's just right over here. These are Ranger stitch stamps. So they kind of give that mock stitching effect. So I'm just going to take them all out so that I can choose at will. I'll be using the Vintage Photo ink to do that when I get to that point. So again, I need bigger pieces of ephemera here to start my bases. So I'm trying to figure out how many I will have going across because you want to leave about an inch in between. And I can't remember which side I wanted to use on that. That'll be fine. Some of them can be smaller than bigger. I want this one to be on top. I absolutely love that. So I don't really have enough. You know what? I'm going to cut this lace down and minimize the stress here on the size of this because this is intense first time around here. So let me just cut off that extra bit. You can use that for something else. Let me get one more bigger piece of paper here. Well, this one will do. That's really pretty. So there's that. So the first thing I've got to do is ink the edges up. On this part, I will probably, when I edit the video, I'll probably speed this up just so you don't have to watch that and hear it, because I don't know about you, but eventually the sound of this bothers me, especially on really thin paper. That one. I don't like that side. I don't like this side, so I'm going to turn this one over. Oh, that's why. I have two pieces there. Thought it felt funny. There we go. Means we have enough now. This is kind of thin though. I'm going to get I need one more piece of paper. Hold on, guys. Let me get one more. I want a thicker cardstock so it's not too flimsy. Find something. This one will do. This is beautiful. So let me go ahead and tear that down a little bit. I like to tear the edges. I really like that look, so I'm going to go ahead and tear these off. And then we're going to finish inking. There we go. Beautiful. So again, we want to keep these fairly spaced, like so. Actually, that one you're not even going to be able to see. I wonder if they should go this way. Actually, let me just control this a little bit. Because I want to be able to see the lace. Well, we'll have other lace, and we'll be able to see the lace that's beside it. So again, this is my first time, so I'm trying not to stress about it. So let's just go with this. So I think the next thing I want to add is a little bit of fabric. So I cut some fabric and I made the hard tear so it's unraveling and such. This piece is a little bit too big now that I look at it. So let me tear that down. Maybe. see. Easier said than done, huh? I also want this inked, so I'm going to try to go around the edges, get my fingers all yucky. I want this to look very vintagey. So let's see where we want that. And then I've got this piece of garden fabric. I just actually got this today at our local, we have a local, it's called Urban Basics, and it's like a little small town craft store, and goodness, I cannot talk, craft store and antique mall. So I like that one. What to do? And I'm going to kind of go off of this a little bit because I want everything to be seen. I wonder if it was done the other way. Let me try this differently, guys. Thanks for being patient. I'm going to try something different here because I'm wondering if it would be better to go like so. I may have to remove one of these, which is, if I had to remove one, it'd be that one, well, or that one. So I'm thinking that we want that lace to be able to be seen, which makes it a little tricky to do this. So, but that means I want all my stuff to go kind of that way. And then I have to cut this one down a little bit because it's a little bit too big for that space. Perfect. I like the shape of that one. It's really pretty. Like so. I actually think we have too many on here because I'm not going to have enough room to really, I want to be able to capture that lace on the ends. So I'm going to take one out. Oh, decisions, decisions. I hope you're still watching. I hope you're still watching. I think this will be better. It's going to stress me out less. If I have extra lace on the ends, it's not a big deal. They will not be wasted. Okay, I feel better. So let's see what else we have. I'm going to tear this one down. Ink. This is trickier than it looks, for sure. Definitely not going to use much of this paper when I pulled out. This paper is really hard to do because it's an old book page, so it's really thin and flimsy. So this card will help me hold it still to do the inking. Learned that on a video. So where do we want this? Oh, I think I want this on here. Yes, sirree. So as you can see, things get covered up, and that's okay. It's the nature of the process. So just like with mixed media, I was always talking about how, man, I did all that work and I covered it up, and people are like, why do you cover up all that beautiful texture, backgrounds and stuff? Well, this is why. Actually, like this one, I don't know how hard this is going to be to ink though. I've never inked rice paper. Should be good. Very nice. Let's see where we want that. I think that's too big. have a really hard time inking these really flimsy things. There we go. So where do we want that? It can be multiple colors, multiple things on the same, in the same snippet. And as you can see, I'm not going straight. I am putting them wherever I want. So there we go. Got a couple pieces of fabric. I think I want a piece of lace in between those two pieces though. I might be kind of hurting myself by trying to do so many sets at the same time, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to put this one under, like so. Give it a little bit more finesse there. I actually don't really like that. Not popping up. It's not popping up. It might be just too much on this one. Oh, I like that without the pink one. We can use this somewhere else. Okay, so what else do we need? So we need something else here. So you kind of, the idea is to get littler and littler as you go along here. I guess is my understanding. So let's take a piece of, we already have a book page there, so let's take a piece of this lined paper. Again, I'm going to ink it up. I hope the camera's close enough, guys. Sometimes I struggle with that. Let me adjust a little bit here. Get closer to my surface here. There we go. Is that better? Hope so. Okay. So now, oh, I like that. I'm going to go this way with this just to be different. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So for you guys, we're going to get all this in place, and then off camera I will glue and do everything else I want to do, including doing some stamping. So I don't want the video to be too long, and it's also nerve-wracking for me. So I usually am, yeah, more informed than I currently am about these processes. So let's see, what do we need? What else do we need here? I think another piece of lace. So I just love the lace. It's just a perfect element to be adding. I think that piece is a little bit too big, so let me get a smaller one. Let's see. Actually, I really like this one, but I think it's too big, so I'm going to cut it down. I'm going to go like that. Perfect. And then I need something smaller yet. I think we're almost to the end of the first bit though. So let me find a couple of little pieces of ephemera here. So I've got a butterfly. Got some butterflies here. And I like this. Yep, that one right there. So I'm going to ink the edges of this tiny butterfly. There we go. And then I think we're going to need a word too, just because I think it's good for completing the whole process here. So let me find a word. I actually didn't get words, so let me grab my words first. I got like numbers and things of that nature, but let me find my tiny words. Tiny words. Ugh. I've got all my ephemera. I'm going to get this to the camera. I bought these photo boxes, and so I have everything. Sorry about the reflection there. Fasteners, medium cards, numbers, miscellaneous cardstock words, etc. So it helps me to be able to just grab and not have to fuss in a drawer and things like that. So I've got this one that's got that's got words, so I like this, dream. Sometimes the first thing that speaks to you is the right thing. So I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. I love the vintage look of inking the edges. Very, very pretty. There we go. So let's get my chair back in here. And I'm going to put the word right here. Oh, it has to go, oh, I need to make sure I'm going the right way here. So I'm going to put the word here and then the butterfly like maybe there. So that one is done. I'm going to move closer here. Guys, I know it's hard to see all those details, so there we go. How's that? Thanks for your patience. Sorry about the reflection, and it's warm in here, so I've got the fan going. So, alrighty, so let's see what's next. So we've got this one. So we need some book pages or something. I'm going to go with a different color of book page. It's a little bit big now that I'm looking at my other piece. So I'm going to ink this up. I left one of the edges straight. You don't even have to tear the edges. It just depends on what you like. So one of the things that I'm going to do when I go to the beach is go to my favorite antique store in Wheeler at the coast. Love that place. Hoping to find some vintage books. I'd love to find some vintage like floral stuff. So we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one again, kind of coming off the bottom here, kind of that layered look here. I like that. And then I really love this card here. It's covering up a little bit of my flowers, but that's okay. Some things get sacrificed, and that's all right. So now we need a piece of, I really like this. This is a vintage, I can't remember if I got this from a digital. I think I did, but it's really old music book pages. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up too. Grateful for the person who shared this on their video about using this piece of paper. Lifesaver. Total lifesaver. So can't remember who it was though. I'm liking the darker tones of this one, so that's why I'm kind of going with it. And I'm gonna just go, I think we need to move that one up and go like that. I just love the layers. It might be too thick, but you know what? I don't know. We're gonna go with it. We'll see what happens. It may not work at all in the journal. We'll see. So let's see, what do we need now? I think maybe a little bit of, do I have rice paper that would work? That's really thin. Ooh, this one's pretty. Look at that. That would be perfect on this, on that little bit of the snippet. We're doing okay. We're 23 minutes in. I'm feeling better. Doing something new is always hard because it's hard to gauge how long it's going to take if you've not done it before. Can't really see this inking on this rice paper. I guess a little bit. I love that piece though. I think we're going to put that up like that. I'm going to go off a little bit. Ooh, so pretty. It's very dark, but I like it. So maybe we can go lighter with some ephemera here. So this is from the Paper Outpost, and I named it Sig butterflies because they're player cigarettes, and they're a vintage. They must be a vintage advertisement or something, but I love the blue butterfly. I am going to trim down a little bit because it's awfully big. Mostly trim it off this side. Sorry, I'm off camera. Off of that side. And a little bit off the top just because I don't want it to be too big on this bit. Beautiful. Actually, let's move this one up a little bit because, or down. How about down, like so. Except now you can't see that at all. This might be a little much. I think we might go with that because, oh, it's got to go the other way. Because I'm going to be cutting them this way and then they're going to be the long way. So that this will help me have place for everything here. So we're going to put our butterfly. We can kind of go a little bit sideways on it like that. Then you can see some of that writing. I think I'm going to tuck this one under here. I like that lacy edge, but it's kind of problematic. Yeah, that's okay. Layers, it's all about the layers. So there we go. There's that. So how about this one? It's a little bit pinkish, which I'm liking. I'm not sure that I'm loving that piece of fabric though, so let's try something different here. I've got this that's a little bit big and I don't want to waste that piece on that little space. So we don't want that yet anyway. We want book pages or something first. So what do we have? Actually, this would be really pretty. Let's try this. It doesn't show a lot because the paper is already pretty dark. Let's see what we think. It's a little bit big, so I'm going to tear that down. Should have thought of that first. There we go. To go this way or this way. Let's just go that way. Kind of want that top to show I like that. And now it might be a good place for the flowers, but I'm going to put a piece of lace too here. I really, really love this lace. Let's put that there. We want this to peek through. Some of this is probably going to shift when I pick it all up and glue it, so I don't know if it would have been better to be gluing as I went, but I didn't do that. So it is what it is. I'm not sure, I'm not loving that piece, so let me try something that might make me happier. These are all big. What was I thinking? Let's try to tear this one down. That's better. I think this needs to be different though. How about like so? Yeah. That means this might actually work better now that I've got that solved. Let's move this one over. I just want to be able to see some of that beautiful paper underneath. So we've got that. Oh, I forgot some words. We need words. Let me get a lighter piece because we've got a lot of dark going on there on the bottom layer. I love old book pages. Oh, you know what? I didn't think about these. Don't have to necessarily go underneath, right? Oh, I love that. Oh, there we go. So how you can see that that little bit of that edge. I love that edge. So I'm going to cut this one down a little bit. can. It's tricky. Sometimes they tear easily and sometimes they don't. I just want that frayed, those those frayed edges. I'm sorry I'm off camera, guys. There we go. That will do. Let's go up here like so. I don't know, need something else. We're gonna make this one pretty lacy. I love it. There we go. So now we need a word or a butterfly or something. Let's see. What do we have over here? Oh, we've got this butterfly. It's on a little tag. This is from one of the Etsy shops that I ordered from. I didn't finish cutting. These are very torturous to try to cut all out when you get them. Oh my gosh, the fussy cutting is endless. Just cut those really quick. Ink those edges. Ugh, wrong thing. Can't even see my ink pad, can you? I don't usually do this close of a camera view, so I don't have much working space here. There we go. Put this baby right here, and ooh, I love it. I love it. I think it needs a word though. Can we pick a word out of my word? Pick a word out of the word thing. My word bin. And how about sweet? Beguiled. I like that. Beguiled. When I started printing all these digitals, I wish that I had not printed them on copy paper, because I'm ending up having to reinforce a lot of my pages and my stuff because the paper is just too thin. But you can't go too thick either, or it bulks up your journal really, really prematurely. So there we go. Beguiled. I love it. Okay, one more, guys, and we'll be done. Yay! Let me get this over here. Over here, over here. I don't want to mess that up, so that's as far as I can go, or it's going to go off my glass mat. So we've got that rose. Actually, it needs to go the other way, so it's like that. So let's get some paper. I'll use some vintage paper here. This is a vintage book. Love that. I'm almost tempted to put this underneath. Why not? There are no rules. There's no rules about it. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I love that. Okay, and then let's see what else we've got that can go on top of this. Oh, we've got this beautiful postmark. But it's a little bit big. We're going to cut it down. I don't want to take away from that flower as much as I possibly can. I really, really like it. It's very meaningful to me. It's the same paper I used on that, on one of the pages that I was working on. So I'm going to kind of put it over here. And then let's see what else we've got here. Oh, I don't have any music pages. Let's get some music pages on here. That would be pretty. These are vintage from my stash. Let's see if we can incorporate this into that a little bit. Might be able to put the music page underneath the rose and bring that other piece back up, because I like the words to be able to be seen, although I have no idea what they say. It's talking about platter and backbone and loin. Might be better for that to be underneath something. Wow. There we go. Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's perfect. And then we can go this way with I guess we're going to tear this down a little bit. It's a little bit too big for the snippet. Go down here. You don't have to see the whole thing. It's just the hint of it that I want. That's kind of become nondescript, so I'm not going to use that. I got a stamp here that might be pretty, and I've got this little price, $1 per bottle, and I think some blue fabric on this one would be really pretty. So let me see if I can distress this fabric a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty. So let's see if we can go. I don't really need to see that stuff about bones and stuff, so I'm gonna move this up a little bit. Can't go too close though. We have it. Well, this is tricky. Tricky. How about we just do that and then that. It's all about the layers, that layered look. We do need a little piece of lace. I don't want to do anything too thick. I've got mostly some thick stuff over here, which I'm not as inclined to use. This one's really pretty. This was from a piece of clothing that I bought. I actually bought it at Goodwill for this purpose, because I'm like, I went through all my closet before I thought about, hey, I could be using some of that for journaling. So I'm going to put this under just so it's peeking out underneath that bit there. And then I don't really want that. Those words are just not very fun. So I'm not sure about that at all. I guess I can just put the stamp over it. I like this stamp. It's got a postmark on it. That's pretty cool. So let's just disguise the words on that. That is one thing you have to be careful with when you're using book pages, is making sure that what you have put down is appropriate and is not going to be offensive. So there we go. That postage stamp. I'll just cover that baby up right there like that. Neat, man. What the heck? What is that anyway? Oh my word. What story was that? Scary. There we go. So let's see if we can disguise that a little bit. Actually, we can make the stamp go the other way. There's no rules. Do that. This is not going to work on this project, so let me find one more word from the word box. And let's see what we got. Hope. One of my favorite words. What would we be without hope? So I think what I'm going to do, I've been toying with the idea of doing a Sunday's Art of Truth around why I'm creating, why I'm doing junk journaling, why I am doing this journal in particular that's called A Soul's Heartbeat. So I think I might write about that on my blog. It won't be this week, Sunday the, what is it, the 4th, because I'm going to be out of town, but maybe the following week. So I can talk about this a little bit. So I'm going to put Hope right here. And we are done. So I'll be sure to take some close-up photos, and off camera, what I'm going to do is go ahead and glue all this down, and then I will take and I will use my stitch stamp if I want to have the stitched look. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll be happy with it just being glued. So, but I'll be sure to follow up with close-ups on the blog where I put close-up photos. So thank you guys so much for watching, for learning with me, for being patient with me as I learn something new. I am thoroughly enjoying it. It brings me great peace, which is what I was after. I really needed to take the pressure off of myself for producing in my art and just create. So this has been really fun, and using my scraps is really enjoyable. I really like it. So thanks again, guys. Bye-bye.